Hey there, in today's video I'm going to share with you some of the pros and the cons of living in Nashville, Tennessee, so you'll know if you want to move there and live there like I did, and I'm getting after it right now. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Greg Spackman. I'm with the Living in Nashville, Tennessee channel. So if you're looking for everything about what it's like to live here, eat here, sleep here, play here, then please click the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified every time I do a new video. I've been getting a ton of people that are just like you that are reaching out to me about moving to the Nashville area, and I absolutely love it. So if that's you, please give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I've got your back if you're moving here to Nashville. And so here are the pros and the cons of living in Nashville, Tennessee. Con number one is the public transportation here. And the public transportation in Nashville is terrible. You may not know that, or you may already know that. But really, you're going to be riding buses, Ubers, or Lyfts, or some other rideshare type of thing. There are no sort of track system, monorail, any sort of light rail system trains you're going to be taking. You're going to be relying on buses or, at worst, the heel-toe express. So that's con number one, the public transportation. Pro number one may be one of the biggest reasons why you're wanting to move here, and that's the music scene. And the music scene in Nashville is out of control. It's amazing. We have the Ryman Auditorium to see things at. You got the Grand Ole Opry. I just went to the Grand Ole Opry, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago and saw Carrie Underwood play. That was amazing. I don't even really like country myself, but watching her and some of the other acts that were on was awesome. I'd never been to the Grand Ole Opry, so if you get the chance, it's well worth going to there. You got at the Nashville Predator games, in between periods, they have bands that play, which are super cool. So if you're a hockey fan or you just want to see some other type of music venue, then you have the bars on Music Row that are right outside where the Predators play, all on Broadway. And those you can pretty much get from country to rock, whatever sort of music you're looking for. There'll be a bar or club that's right there that's going to be playing it. They used to have this really cool one that we would go to where they had like a white trash outdoor thing that was inside, and that was super cool, but that place closed, and I think it opened as something else. But there's lots of different clubs that you can go to all along Broadway, and they're super, super fun, and there's lots of people that are there, especially Friday and Saturday nights. There's bachelorette parties. It's, I believe, the bachelorette party capital of the world here in Nashville, so there's tons of people, and it's lots and lots of fun to go downtown. We also have the Country Music Hall of Fame, so if that's something that you want to check out, you can definitely get your country fixed that way as well. So that's pro number one, is the music, and you're going to find lots and lots of bands and other people trying to break it in the music industry that you're going to be able to find playing all around Nashville in general, from country to every sort of music that you're into. Con number two is one of the things that bothers me a lot, is the allergies. And so one of the things when I went to the doctor that they suggested was using Flonase and then some sort of Claritin. So we used the little blue Claritin pill and then a Flonase when it's bad. And it's bad for me about twice a year. So it gets bad in the spring when they start tilling all the dirt and getting all the dust and everything in the air. And then in the fall, when they harvest everything, it seems to be bad for me when everything that whips up into the air. So I recommend that you check out with your doctor, find out what sort of allergy medicines, if you have allergies, and you'll know what it's like, what they recommend is for you. And then you can also, if it's really, really bad, you can go to some sort of allergy center, which it's not that bad for me, so I never went to one of those. But that's con number two, the allergies. Pro number two, one of my favorite things about living in Nashville, didn't think that I would like this so much coming from California and everything that's there, but the great food. And if you haven't tried Nashville hot chicken, they have different levels, so you can get mild all the way up to really, really, really hot, where I haven't even tried some of the hot ones. But you have places like Hattie B's that's world known and really, really good chicken. You have Prince's Chicken. There's just a ton of different ones that have come around, but those are the two most popular ones. We have surprisingly good Mexican food here in the Nashville area. My favorite place to go is a place called Carmen's Taqueria, and that's in Murfreesboro. And they have the world's best fish tacos that I've had anywhere. You can get them either deep fried or grilled, and I get them both ways because they're both good and they have a different kind of taste. But I don't recommend anything else there. Like their burritos and enchiladas and stuff aren't very good there. My favorite place for Mexican food is in Spring Hill. It's a place called Acapulco, which is just a chain, I think, but their style of Mexican food is my favorite. And then also it's really good that we get is takeout. You can get Oscar's Taco, or in Spring Hill, you can get Cali Burrito. If you're in Spring Hill, then say hello to Adrian. But their Tuesday taco night is fabulous. It's half price on most of the tacos, so that's a great time for you to try them. If you're a barbecue fan, the two best barbecues that I've eaten at are at Martin's Barbecue and then at Edley's Barbecue. I prefer the Edley's one that's in East Nashville over the one that's in 12 South, but that's up to you to try and figure out that. If you're into Chinese food, my favorite place is a place called Bamboo House, and that's in Franklin as well. I love their Kung Pao chicken with fried rice, and that's awesome. They also have added a bunch of other things to it, like teppanyaki now and some other things. But the Kung Pao chicken there, I can't find it anywhere else that's that good. If you're looking for the best steak that I've found is at Stony River. Either you go with a coffee-cured filet that my wife loves, or I typically will get the bone-in ribeye or the filet. And I like mine completely different than my wife. She wants it like fully cooked, where it's almost like, I don't know, rubber or whatever eating, and I like mine rare, so it's a challenge, but they've been able to get our steaks right most of the time, where they don't have to send mine back because it's overcooked. But that's the food scene for you, and there's plenty of more places that are good. If you have some that you like, comment below what those ones are that maybe I left out. What is your favorite? Con number 3 is that Nashville is not really super walkable. And by walkable, I mean just to get around. There are areas, of course, where certain parts of it, that like Germantown, where it's more walkable, and downtown, once you get downtown, then it's walkable, but it's just not super walkable in a lot of the areas around Nashville, and especially some of the other cities. You're going to need a car for the most time, or Uber or Lyft to get around. They have a lot of the streets that you're going to find that don't have curbs, and that feels kind of weird coming from places where everything had sidewalks and curbs. For me. So just know that you're going to see that in and around Nashville driving. Certain neighborhoods don't have them. People seem to really like that in certain places, and people seem to like that initially. So we'll just see what your thoughts are as far as that goes, whether you like curbs or not, or sidewalks. But that's con number 3, just not super walkable. Pro number 3 to living in Nashville, Tennessee would be that they have great colleges, and they have some of the best colleges anywhere in the nation that you can attend, and then you get a discount by living in Tennessee prior to going to college. And some of those colleges that you may or may not be aware of are Belmont, Lipscomb, Tennessee State, Vanderbilt, Chattanooga, MTSU. And then you also have Columbia State. And so those are some of the colleges. There's more, but those are the ones that just stand out to me. And I've heard from other people that have had their children go there, or they've been there themselves, and that they are really good schools. So that's pro number 3, the good school. Con number 4 is the housing market is still nuts in Nashville due to everybody wanting to move there. You're going to be anywhere from $250,000 to a couple $1 million you can spend on a home. The average home is somewhere going to be in the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 range, depending upon what city you want to be in. If you want to be in Brentwood, then you're over $1 million for sure on a home. In Franklin, you're $700,000, $800,000. You want new construction. This is a really good reason why you need to reach out to me and give me a call, so that I can go over the different areas and find out what you're looking for, where your drive is, where you're going to be working, playing, having fun, so that we put you and have you start looking in the right areas and get you in the right city based on what vibe you're looking for, all of that. But that's the housing market, and it has been nuts since COVID. and it slowed down a little bit, and now it's starting to pick back up again as people have realized that interest rates are going to kind of be around where they're at, anywhere from a 5.5 range to 6.5 range, somewhere in that range. It seems like that's where we're going to be. But that's con number 4. The housing market is nuts. Pro number 4 is the sports. And that was one of the reasons that we moved here. We needed to move somewhere because my wife and I are both big hockey fans that had a hockey team that we didn't hate. And the Predators were one of the possibilities. So when we came and we went and did this trip that she bought me for Christmas one year where we went to 5 cities in 7 days. First game was the Predators, and they happened to be playing the Ducks that game. And we had jerseys. Well, after going to San Jose and wearing our jerseys, I didn't know what Nashville fans were going to be like. So we left our jerseys in the room. And when we got down to the rink and we're walking to our seats, we go all the way down, and she had bought tickets right behind the Anaheim Ducks player bench and right at the tunnel. And I'm like, holy cow, honey, we don't have our jerseys and we're right behind the players. We're going to actually end up being on TV, which we were on TV, and we had all our friends back in California that were texting us photos when they could see us on TV. However, what was super cool, we were staying at the JW Marriott, and we called the hotel and said we left our jerseys in our room. So they had a bellhop run up to our room, grab our jerseys, and meet us at a door at the arena, and we had our jerseys. So where else would they do something like that? I don't think you could do that in Chicago or Detroit or somewhere else. So anyhow, so that was why we, kind of like Nashville to begin with, and then everyone else we met were super friendly when we were here. And so I also play ice hockey myself, and so we wanted a place where I could play ice hockey. And at the time, Nashville had 2 rinks. They had one up in Nashville and then one in Franklin. Ended up playing in Franklin. But so that's, I guess, a long story short, but that's why we sort of picked it. So as far as other sports here, we have the Titans. So that's the NFL team. And then we have an MLS soccer team here called the Nashville Soccer Club. Haven't been to a game yet, but it's on my list to do. The Nashville Sounds is a AAA team for the Milwaukee Brewers that play here. They are trying to get a MLB team here in Nashville, so that may happen over the next year or two, either an expansion or potentially moving a team. So that would be super, super cool. Most people that live in the Nashville area are either a Braves fan or they're a St. Louis fan. So that's typical. I stayed an Angels fan when we moved here. It's just not the same not being able to see your team play, and I didn't really drive the 4 hours to go see the Angels play. And then we have college football, and college football is super, super big. Moving from California, college football was not really a big deal, at least where we were from, because UCI had a crappy team, and you were either a USC fan or you were a UCLA Bruins fan. That was pretty much it. And since they were both an hour away, I never really became a fan of either of those teams. So college football didn't mean much to me. However, it's huge in Nashville. Most people seem to be either an Alabama or an Auburn fan. So if there's one of those teams is you, then that's awesome. But there are lots and lots of fans, or you're a Tennessee fan as well. And so that's sports. Con number 5 is the bad drivers, and there are really bad drivers here in Middle Tennessee, and you're going to find drivers from a bunch of different states because Tennessee borders 7 states, so you're going to have 7 different states worth of people that come through, especially where Nashville sits. You have Kentucky to the north, and then Alabama and Mississippi to the south, and they're both like an hour drive away, so they come through all the time. So you're going to find those bad drivers. Then you have the bad drivers that have moved to Nashville from elsewhere that, have relocated there. And then also then you have the Nashville drivers that live in Nashville that are awful. But you're going to see lots of stupid things. People run lots of red lights. They drive in the carpool lane when they're not supposed to. Just tons of different things that bad drivers do. And I've just learned to drive defensively, and that seems to work out for me. The number 5 pro on the list is quality healthcare. And we have Vanderbilt, which is one of the top rated hospital places in the world. And there's a number of other great places for you to go for healthcare all around the Nashville area. There's plenty of hospitals in that sort of thing. So if you need quality health care, you're going to get it in Nashville. You just need to research and find what you sort of care that you're needing. Con number 6 is the weather, and Nashville has all 4 seasons. So they have a true spring where everything blooms, and it's super, super cool to watch the leaves come back on all the trees because they're gone in the fall. The summertime, it does get hot. It is humid. There are definitely days where it's really, really awful to live in Tennessee as far as the humid goes. I think when we moved to Nashville, it was like 90 degrees all week long. And then the next, like 2 days after we got done moving everything, it dropped 15 degrees. So we couldn't have timed it any worse as far as moving. And my kids hated me for the temperature change or the temperature, but it was hot. They have something called swamp ass that you may or may not have heard before, but you'll experience that living here. The fall is awesome. It's super nice. It's probably the best time of year is the fall with the changing of the leaves and then the humidity going away. You're no longer having to mow your yard because the grass stops growing, that sort of thing. And then wintertime, some winters are really, really good. Some winters aren't. One of my favorite things about winter is the grass isn't growing. It's not 90 degrees. There's no humidity. And there's no bugs. All the bugs seem to go away in the wintertime, which is awesome. And that's a later thing. Another con is the bugs. But that's the weather. And it does get warm, 90s to 100s in the summertime. Does get cold in the wintertime sometimes. Typically, the wintertime is not below 20 degrees. So it's normally 30s and 40s and 50s. And a lot of the time I will wear shorts and flip-flops and drive my wife nuts. But that's me. I prefer to wear flip-flops if I could all year round. So that's the weather. Pro number 6 is the nightlife, and Nashville has an amazing nightlife. From all the bars and clubs on Music Row, so everywhere downtown, on Broadway, right outside of the Predators, there's tons of places for you to go. Even New York and San Francisco, where I've been, they don't have anything that cool that I've seen. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else in the U.S. If you can, comment below and let me know where you think the downtown like bar scene and that sort of nightlife thing is better. But I personally think Nashville has the top nightlife area for you to go do stuff. Con number 7 is the religious views in Nashville, and that's changed slowly. When we first moved to Nashville, it was much more religious, I felt, and more people always would ask me, what church do you go to, or do you need a church, that sort of thing. That's not the same case as it's been lately. Just know that Nashville is in the Bible Belt, so it's going to have plenty of religion that's based out of there, and you're going to have a million different churches to choose from if you're into that sort of thing, or just to go look at. And there's some really cool ones in downtown Nashville that are, really old and they look awesome. So that's a pro, I guess, as far as for religion goes. Pro number 7 is the job market in Nashville. Nashville has an amazing job market, super low unemployment, easy to find a job, lots of companies that are moving to the Nashville area, especially like In-N-Out Burger is moving to Franklin, Tennessee here in 2026. And that's bringing jobs. Amazon has jobs. Facebook has jobs. There's a ton of different jobs and companies that are moving their headquarters to the Middle Tennessee area. Heck, Carl's Jr. moved their headquarters here to Tennessee. So know that you're going to be able to get a job if you don't already have one that are super high paying. One of the top industries is going to be in the medical field. So that will be something if you're in that sort of field. But that's pro number 7, the job. Con number 8, I touched on that they disappear in the wintertime, and that's bugs. So you have silverfish, mosquitoes, snakes. Well, actually, snake's not a bug, but you have snakes. You have just a ton of different bugs that you're going to run into, mosquitoes, wasps, and then you have the cicadas, and they make an awful noise, and they were supposed to be millions and millions of them coming out, and they just haven't come out like they were supposed to, but they could. You have chiggers, ticks, just tons of different bugs that you're going to have, and you can treat all that with some spraying of your yard, which I highly recommend that you spray for mosquitoes and that in your yard. If you have a bigger yard, then, it's going to be a little bit different, but smaller yards, you're going to need to do that less often. But that's con number 8 is the bugs, and you probably should be aware that we have more bugs than maybe what you're used to. Pro number 8, and that's the friendly people. Southern charm. You're going to hear people say, bless your heart. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. Depends on why they're saying it to you. So just know that. But they say, the way that they say it with their little Southern accent makes you think that it's a good thing. But there are really, really friendly people in Nashville. And I haven't seen that go away. As you go further out from Nashville, the people are friendlier than they are closer to Nashville for whatever reason. But you're still going to run into plenty of friendly people, and that's something cool that you want to have in your city, is to have really nice people. So when you move here, please make sure that you carry that tradition on of being nice and friendly to people. Con number 9 is the tornadoes. And Nashville does get tornadoes, especially through one particular area, kind of in East Nashville, where they had 3 of them go through there. But they do get tornadoes. You don't get them anywhere near the amount that you get in some of the other states. And it's not very, very common for it to do any sort of damage, but they have had them. So I want to make you aware that you might have to deal with tornadoes. We've had people build a couple different shelters that have moved here and wanted protection from tornadoes. So we've had ones where they built this thing in the garage. It's a freestanding, so it takes up space in your garage, but it's like a room, and you just go in and lock yourself in it, and that would protect you. And then they have another one that somebody bought where they dug in the garage under down, so you go downstairs under your garage. So that's another option. And then the third option, which is super cool, and we didn't even know when the person was buying the home that it had it until we did the home inspection, but the master bedroom closet was a tornado room. And so it had these big pins that we saw, but we weren't sure what they were for. And those are, so, for the door of the closet. So that's super, super cool that is an option as well. And so those are kind of some ways that you can combat tornadoes, and they shouldn't be a reason why you don't move there, because you can get one of those 3 types, and that's tornadoes. So those are my pros and cons of living in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're still interested in making that move, please give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you more about making a Nashville home. Until next time, I'm out.